How's it going, everyone? Coming off the heels of Tokyo Game Show, we have gotten a absurd amount of Ananta updates. Some of it's getting lost in the shuffle. I feel like most of you guys have checked out the lengthy gameplay demos, certainly drawing comparisons to other games that have come out. Certainly feels like they took some inspiration from existing games, but hey, I don't think that's a bad thing whatsoever, and creating this sort of mishmash with a great anime aesthetic art style. I think the game looks incredibly vibrant. I'm very excited for it. So there's a lot of points we got to talk about in this video. Specifically, another main character, some gameplay aspects and details as far as monetization goes, and a potential release window for the game, which we'll cover at the end of this video. But off the top, I do want to know that Ananta, at this point, all of the gameplay that you guys have been seeing has highlighted the male main character. However, it looks like there will be a female main character as well. The female lead has been confirmed and the plot direction has been set, as noted on the Ananta News X account. In the Q&A image provided, it also mentions the following: although the game emphasizes freedom, it also seems like there's no character customization. Why was that design decision made? Also, I'd like to know whether a female squad leader will be introduced. The answer to that was to highlight the squad leader's personality trait. We removed face customization. Players can still change their appearance though, purchasing clothing and outfits, which makes up for the lack of facial customization. As for the female squad leaders, it's not that they don't exist, we just haven't revealed them publicly yet. In the official release, players will be able to choose between a male or female squad leader depending on the choice. Some dialogue and cooperative actions will have slight differences, but the overall storyline will remain basically the same. I actually kind of like that idea as far as not offering a slew of customization options as far as the facial design, because then you are kind of locking the game away as something that is super customizable. And you, at the end of the day, something that is super customizable, there are going to be some handicaps you have for narrative storytelling, and it does feel like this is a game they are putting some emphasis on the storytelling and the narrative, which I'm very much excited for. It does look like this is going to be a story-focused game to an extent. To an extent, it's going to have its live service elements there as well, and I don't know how they're going to handle the story as far as on release. Is there going to be a start point and an end point? Live service games usually handle that a little bit differently, but it does feel like there is that story focus, which I'm very interested in. And for somebody like me, you know, I do like to play a lot of my games solo, even with these games that do have a focus on multiplayer. And yes, that's our next point. Similarly to GTA 5 Online, you can tackle missions with your friends. In the interview with IGN Japan, will multiplayer allow you to freely explore the city with your friends? It supports multiplayer, but rather than playing with a large number of random players like in an MMORPG, it's designed for playing with friends. Of course, you can enjoy it solo or team up with friends to tackle a high difficulty mission. So it's not going to be an overabundance of people in one world. Rather, it is more focused and tailored for you to play with your friends. I am curious about how many people are going to be able to populate a server. Like, is it going to be 4 people, 8 people, 12 people, around that range? And how many people are going to be able to group together to tackle quests or just explore the city? I think this is one of those games that having a game where you can just sit back, relax, and have a lot of exploration elements, and you and a group of friends, and keep it a little bit tailored back, you know, 8 people a server, however they decide to go, whatever they think is going to be best to keep the world intact, I do think is going to be the best route to go. But even for just pure exploration, I think multiplayer could be a key element of this game, so it'll be interesting to see that play out as well. Monetization has been such a big talking point with Ananta, and there's certainly been a lot of people rejoicing over the fact that this game isn't going to be a gacha game. You know, it really depends on how you define a gacha game. What it is the gacha elements won't be tied to the characters, which for most people, I feel like that is enough to be like, hey, it's not a gacha game. It is going to be an instance of clothing and other customization options. Those are going to be tied to the monetization. 4Gamer asked, I heard that instead of there being character gacha, skins and other items will be available as paid features. It was noted, for example, clothing design. There will be shops selling clothes within the city, but special event outfits will require payment. We're also considering elements such as modifying cars and motorbikes, which will allow players to create what's known as Itasha cars. Now, this is something that you can clearly see from this quote. It's a work in progress as far as monetization goes, but they are outright saying that there won't be character monetization, which I find that to be rather incredible at this stage of the game, because I think this is a game that they would easily be able to monetize it from the character output standpoint, and there is that inherent level of interest that there's the potential to make a lot of money right away. But I think for Ananta, this is a game that you should absolutely think about the long term, and the long term at this stage of the game should be building as much goodwill as possible, and it really does feel like there's a lot of goodwill around this game. And how do you take that goodwill to overdrive? Well, tell people that you're not going to do what a lot of other games in this category do with monetizing characters, making them difficult to get. And yes, you can make a lot of money in a vacuum. In a vacuum, you can generate a lot of revenue from your hardcore players. However, if you treat the consumer with respect, ultimately, I feel like that money will come back on the back end, and you'll be able to get other monetization aspects, whether it be season passes tied towards, customizable options and things of that nature. But if you keep the core fundamental gameplay options available to every player, I think ultimately that'll not only increase the overall amount of people playing the game, it gets you that level of goodwill where so many people are going to be talking about the game, promoting the game when it comes out, and those people, because they're invested into the game, have a higher likelihood of spending money on the customization aspects, and I think it's a win-win. This market and this area of games, there is a little bit of competition there, but to differentiate yourself and at the same time build quite a lot of goodwill, I feel like this is such a great thing that they're doing. And yes, easy for me to say on a video, oh, don't monetize the game, don't monetize characters. It's a free-to-play game. At the end of the day, there needs to be some sort of monetization. Those servers aren't going to be cheap, and video games are designed to make money. However, if you can find that balancing act and you can strike that balance of making money while also treating the consumer with at least some sort of respect, I think that is the best way to go, and it looks like with Ananta, they are figuring that out. Lastly, I do want to note that there is an image circulating that Ananta, the release date is scheduled for 2026, likely around July or later. According to a leading gaming magazine, Ananta will debut on PC and PlayStation with the Android and iOS versions to follow. So PC and PlayStation initially, which if you look at that release window, it's probably going to end up coming out around the same time as GTA 6, and I would say GTA 6 right now is scheduled for May of 2026. There's been a lot of talk about the game potentially being delayed. I actually think Ananta coming out around the same time as GTA 6, this is one of those games that it might be a big thing for this game to come out around the same time, because ultimately, this is a game where a large portion of the people are going to be playing on PC. PC isn't getting Grand Theft Auto 6 anyway, so you're talking about a different audience that's going to gravitate towards this game. There's a lot of talk over Grand Theft Auto 6 being $100, maybe $80, $90, $100. It's going to have, a lot of monetization tied to it, etc., etc. If you're coming out with a game that's a totally different aesthetic style, and I feel like it's going to target a different audience, inherently it's going to have a different audience because it's coming out on PC. Yes, it'll be on PlayStation 5 as well, but it's a free game. I actually think this is one of those games that I'm sure that the team developing the game isn't really thinking about GTA 6, but I actually think that it coming out around the same time as GTA 6 from an optics standpoint, can turn out to be pretty well. And again, GTA 6 is such a different game. You're talking about Ananta being this anime aesthetic. GTA is a juggernaut. Nothing's gonna stop GTA. However, Ananta coming out around the same time as GTA, I'm not talking about Ananta stopping GTA. It's about Ananta utilizing GTA and the aspects of GTA to differentiate itself, and on top of that, because GTA is gonna be so in the news cycle, it'll just be a talking point for Ananta to be put in there, and it's coming out on PC, so you're talking about inherently it having a different audience right off the bat. I actually think that would be a great decision, and I don't think they're meticulously thinking about, oh, let's put this game out around the same time as GTA. And I think there are a few games that could come out around the same time as GTA, but Ananta is one of those because of the style of game that it is, because it's free to play, and that monetization is going to be such a big talking point in a good way with Ananta, and it's on PC. I actually think it would be beneficial, and if nothing else, it'll be a net neutral, it coming out around the same time. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a ton of updates on Ananta. This is quickly becoming one of the more anticipated games of 2026. Let me know all of your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.